You've been diagnosed with fibroids, and the first thing your doctor says is, don't worry, we're going to roll out the wait and watch method, meaning the wait and see. Let's see what happens in the next 4 months, and we're going to watch the fibroid tumors. They're small in size right now, so don't worry. You're not in any pain right now, so don't worry. But if you are here, you are seeking more answers beyond the wait and watch method. You want to act now, and you have every right to do so. And it is so important that you do so because those small fibroids, or wherever they are right now, only grows in size if nothing gets done. So in this video, I'm going to show you why it is dangerous to ignore fibroids and what you can do right now to solve your problem. Now, if you are here, again, you are tired of being dismissed by your doctors. You know that you feel off, your balance is off, your hormones are off, your gut is off, and you just want to do something right now so that you're not waiting those 4 months to see what the results are and possibly waiting for the fibroids to get bigger, right? So let's just get right into it because I want to be able to say after you left this video, you left with so much value that you can start doing something today, okay? So, number one, what are fibroids? Fibroids are non-cancerous tumors. And online, you'll find that they'll say words like benign, which means harmless. And what happens is they begin to grow around the uterus based upon what? The body being in an estrogen dominant state. So the role of estrogen is estrogen stimulates tissue growth, right? So you have estrogen and you have progesterone, and they're like sister hormones. Estrogen stimulates tissue growth, and progesterone comes in and say, "Hey, girl, we need to slow down, all right? Because you going a little bit too overboard." But what happens is your progesterone levels begin to drop, right? And now the estrogen doesn't have a sister to say, slow the tissue growth down. So once the progesterone levels drop, your estrogen begins to excessively grow tissue. And this is what we are seeing when it comes to the uterus. Now, why is it that it's forming or it's encapsulating itself in the uterus? Well, it's simple. Your body is always designed to defend itself. And I want you to repeat after me. Fibroids is not a disease. It is only a symptom of the true disease. Okay? Fibroids is not a disease. It is a defense mechanism from what's really happening. So in order to protect the body from all of this rampant estrogen running throughout the cells, throughout the blood, excess estrogen can damage your kidneys. It can damage your heart. It can damage vital organs inside your body. So it's going to create a capsule that's going to kind of bottle all of that estrogenic energy up. And that is what fibroids are. So estrogen is fueling fibroid growth, and we need to get that under control. Okay. So how do we do that? Right? We do that with what is called flushing your liver. And I've talked about this in many of my other videos of how the liver's role is so important when it comes to getting rid of excess estrogen out of the body. And when the liver becomes fatty, when you have excessive gallstones or excessive liver stones, your liver is not able to get rid or dump the excess estrogen. So now all of that excess estrogen that's supposed to be let out by the liver, it goes right back into the bloodstream, and the body is so intelligent. All right. It is so intelligent. It is going to group it into one area. All right. So here are some of the dangers of ignoring fibroids. Okay. Number one, they don't tend to get smaller. They tend to get bigger. Okay. If you're not doing anything about it, that means that the estrogen is going to stay high. Your progesterone is still going to be low, and you have gut and liver issues. And so you most times, if not all the time, but I have to say most times women who deal with fibroids are constipated. And so all of that waste that you're not getting rid of, again, it's compacting your gut and it's also compacting your liver. And so all of that waste that you're supposed to be letting out, that and that estrogen has to go out with it, now it's staying inside the body. And so instead of the fibroids staying the same size or getting smaller, after that 4 month or 6 month follow up with your medical doctor, what do they say? It got bigger. And then what's next? Surgery, right? We have to freeze it. We have to get rid of it. And so a lot of you who are watching this, you're like, I don't want to do surgery. I'm afraid of surgery, right? As well, I understand. So we're going to give you some tools before you leave so that you can start acting on your health today. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, low blood count. All right. Fibroids, they have to survive. And I don't think we really understand the energetic resonance of what a fibroid is. See, a fibroid has to be fed, right? It has to keep itself alive. That's how it grows. That's how it became what it is in the first place. And so how does something grow within the body? It needs energy. And what is that energy? Blood. So now you have all of this blood fueling the growth of the fibroid. And now that blood is flowing in that specific area, your iron is going to be low. Okay, you're going to have issues with brain fog, issues with memory, because all of that blood that's supposed to be flowing all throughout your body, into your brain, into your other organs, it's deficient, right? So you're going to have some issues with low blood count. Your red blood cells are going to be low. Okay, so anemia is going to be a risk if you ignore the fibroids. Okay. Number three, we already talked about gut health, right? So how fibroids operate is that it cannot develop unless the gut is filled with waste and the liver is fatty and too slow to dump the excess estrogen. And so now you're a breeding ground in your gut for common gut diseases, okay, or common gut challenges, right? And then on top of that, when your gut is not balanced, your stress levels are at an all-time high because there's specific bacteria in your gut. When it's at a low level, it signals the brain and say, hey, we don't have enough of this bacteria in the gut. And so now your calm transmitters they're all over the place. And so things like anxiety and stress comes with what is called fibroids. Okay. So I trust that you painted a really clear picture as to why it is so important to taking care of that fibroid diagnosis as soon as you get it. The last thing I will say before we end this video is that fibroids, although benign, can always turn what is called malignant, which is a more aggressive form of a tumor. Now, why do I say that? They point out that fibroids are benign, but again, over time, the fibroids need energy, it needs blood to survive. And if we're not doing anything about it, well, it's going to get that blood that it needs to keep on thriving. All right. Especially if you didn't change your diet. If you're eating the same foods, that's feeding the fibroids. If you're stressed, that's feeding the fibroids. If you're not moving your body, moving your bowels, which is so important, that's feeding the fibroids. And most importantly, if you are not taking care of your liver, it is definitely feeding the fibroids. Over time, that area where it has encapsulated itself into one area where it's not spreading, eventually it'll begin to seep outside of its capsule and begin to spread. And that takes time, okay? And so because we don't know how much time, or it can be 5, 10, 15 years, whatever years, we don't want to wait. We don't want to wait for fibroids to branch out off on their own and become a really serious aggressive tumor. Okay. So I want to make sure that you understand that, and that you know the risk of doing the wait and see method or the wait and watch method when it comes to fibroids. So what I want you to do, right? I want you to do the step one, right? I have this amazing program that I designed for women just like you who work a 9 to 5, you work in an office setting, right? And you feel like I want to take care of this, but I don't have time to take care of this. And so now I've developed a program that is going to help you to rid yourself of fibroids and anything related to reproductive diseases, and get your hormones in balance, so that you can live the way you desire. Okay. So the step one is we start with the iridology. The iridology is going to tell me exactly where you are. And if you've never heard of iridology before, it is a science where I analyze your iris, which is the colored part of your eyes, into seeing your health, your organs. So your uterus, your kidneys, your liver, all of that is being told in your eye. And then we start with my gut liver transformation. And that step looks like, okay, we're going to go in, we're going to start the liver flush, we're going to start the colon cleanse, we're going to get all of that stuff out of the liver and the gut. Okay, because remember, that is the root. The fibroid is the symptom. And then the third step is, now it's time for the transformative, right? You've got to that point. Now you're going to have really good recipes that I am going to provide for you. You're going to have a step-by-step guideline that I'm going to provide for you, so that it takes away the overthinking of how you're going to get this done. All right. I really trust that you got that and you feel lighter as to, wow, she's going to help me solve my problem. Absolutely. So before we get off this call, more value. If you were diagnosed with fibroids and your doctor told you not to do anything, here are some key things you want to begin to stop right now. Number one is dairy. Dairy is your enemy. It will grow the fibroids because it is a mucus producing substance. Okay, it has no nutritional value. And it's going to constantly create mucus, which is going to constantly keep the body in an inflammatory state. And it's going to keep your estrogen levels at an all-time high, which is fueling the fibroids. Number two, sugar. Sugar. And we're going to do another video on how to finally kick sugar cravings. But sugar, yes, is definitely your enemy, and it is in everything. So you must read all your ingredients that has any kind of sugar in it, whether it's cane sugar, anything, because it's going to constantly stimulate the growth of the fibroids. Okay. And last but not least, this is going to hurt a lot of people. That's seafood. Okay. Your shrimps, your lobsters, your crabs, all of that is high in fat. All of that is high in cholesterol. And what does that do? It backs up the liver. Remember, the liver is the root. We want to get to the root, so that once we get to the root, we are getting into the fibroids and manipulating the growth so that it does not extend its life anymore. Okay. So make sure you jot those down so that you can start today. All right. When we get off this video, I want you to say yes to getting rid of fibroids. Yes, I am ready today. And no, I am not doing the wait and watch method. Go ahead and book your step one, which is your consultation with me. And let's get started on your 90-day rebalancing of your hormones and focusing on getting rid of fibroids. All right. Thank you so much. And I will see you soon.